When you think of Nintendo, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Mario. And lawsuit. Nintendo has been around since the dawn of time. 43 years. When you really think about it, 43 years is nothing compared to other big franchises, so it's really impressive how Nintendo could just insert themselves into massively popular culture in such a short amount of time. But there is one certain ape that has contributed even more to this rise than any other IP under Nintendo's belt. One that has since been neglected, beaten, put through the ringer off SpongeBob, lit on fire, and then put through the ringer off SpongeBob again. Donkey Kong, good gravy, this series has been through the friggin' ringer. I didn't know how to approach this video, like did I want to rank every game, or did I want to like do a documentary, or did I just want to include all the games in a little annual summary at the end of the year? Or better yet, maybe I should just forget about it like Retro did apparently. Michael Kelbor, come down and fight, you coward. Ultimately, I just decided on a sort of hybrid of a few of these things. So here's how we're going to do this. One, we walk through the history of Donkey Kong. I'll go through a few of the games I've played that I feel are worth mentioning. And if I do forget any, you can just leave the names in the comments so I can respond by having you crucified live on television because you showed a sign of weakness. Two, I'm only saying if I like them or not. I probably won't give like a rating out of 10, but I'll compare them to with like other entries in the series if I feel like it's necessary. I don't know, I just feel like if I put numbers on everything, I'm going to turn into IGN and I'm going to say like freaking Donkey Kong Jr. has a little something for everyone. 3, am I just basing my love for Donkey Kong off video game Donkey?
Hey you guys, it's me, the video game playing donkey from a farm.
Nintendo, basic summary, started out as a small company that got so fucking fat and abhorrent that it had to move into a big boy building where they did big boy things. Like lawsuits. I don't know what the hell you want me to say. I don't really want to dive really that deep into Nintendo. There isn't much to be said that hasn't already been said. They were a playing card company initially, which is pretty strange considering where they are now. But like Sega made slot machines for a living when they first showed up, so there's definitely been stranger beginnings. Also, I find it funny that the only reason Sonic exists is because Sega had a heap of money left over from all the gambling addicts they took advantage of. Nintendo started off by ripping off other arcade games, which is, again, is kind of ironic when you look at them now. I'm sorry I keep ripping on Nintendo, but, you know, I'm gonna shut up. I love you, Nintendo. Please don't take my video. But then they really struck gold and created Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong... Do you actually want me to review this? There isn't really much to say. It's an arcade game. It's your child's first exposure to the harsh world of gambling. I've played it a few times on this little arcade table thing that my friend has, and it's a decent time, but definitely not like happy-go-lucky, makes me feel things that don't make me want to throw a broken beer bottle at my infant son. Anyway, after a while, Nintendo said, hey, let's make an actual game out of this, and they pushed Donkey Kong out of the way and reached out for Mario, and the fate of time was sealed. Donkey Kong was left to fend for himself, and holy camole, he got eaten alive by coyotes on the first day. No one gave a flying No one gave a shit about Donkey Kong Duck Hunt. They wanted the new Mario. But don't worry, this is by far the least worst thing that happens to this series in the future. Enter Rare. Rare was a company established by two brothers, Tim and Chris Stamper, and their studio was situated in an old farmhouse, which I'd like to imagine they just found some random bankrupt family that owned a struggling farm and they evicted them from their property so they can make Battletoads for the Super Nintendo. Speaking of which, if you think EA Sports is a terrible cash grab, sit down, kid. They made 66 goddamn games for the NES and the SNES in the span of 8 years. And let me stress, this was not a big company. They had like 2 people working on like a single game at a time. That is frightening. I'm pretty sure 66 games is bigger than the entire library for the Game Boy. Eventually, they capture the attention of Nintendo and they're like, you guys want to make a game? And Tim reaches into his ass and pulls out a beta copy of Donkey Kong Country that says, I thought you never asked. And voila, salvation. Donkey Kong Country is a decent game. It's kind of like Sonic where if you know the level really well, you can just keep your flow going and get the stage done quickly. But like not that kind of Sonic.
Look, ramps!
We can use these as ramps!
Fuck you,
I'm sure you would have heard of the 3D modeling method they use to make the graphics, and they've been praised before, and while I will admit some parts of this game really do look beautiful, I'm not kidding, the 3D models in question look kinda stupid. Still, they have a certain charm to them. I think Diddy Kong can see me through the fucking screen. Also, Donkey Kong makes this noise. I just really like that. I don't have anything else to add to it. It's just nice. Okay, so in this section of the script, I have it in all caps because I'm supposed to share it, but I literally don't have the energy to do that. Like, don't get me wrong. I love David Wise, but like I'm tired. I'm dying.
I'm dying, dude.
David Wise was the lead composer for the game, and whatever they paid him, you know what? It doesn't really matter. It can never be enough. Just give the man the entire company. Every single track on this game is so beautiful. A lot like the Metroid music where you never really notice it at first, but when you come back to it a few years later, you just start to sob uncontrollably and like rock back and forth until the psych ward people come and take you away. Also, really quickly, the map theme. That was made by Evelyn Novakovic. So not all of this soundtrack was composed by just David Wise, just had to clarify that. Thank you. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, Evelyn. Anyways, the game. It wasn't just a success. This was the third best-selling game on the Super Nintendo, which is really impressive when you consider that the SNES was where we are with the Switch right now, was dying. And somehow they were able to pull through and make this one of the best-selling games on the system. That is impressive. Naturally, 2 more games were pushed into production. I think 2 is better than the first one. I've never touched 3. Oh no, I'm a fake fan. What are you gonna do? You're gonna report me? Oh goodness gravy. It's also funny that both these games don't even have Donkey Kong, or at least 2 had Diddy. 3, like, yeah, you're just making shit up. Baby Kong? I don't give a fuck about Baby Kong. With the Super Nintendo literally ending and the Nintendo 64 being out for a few years, Rare jumped ship over to that system, only to be made to walk the plank 5 seconds later. Rare's golden years were when they got their greasy fingers on the Nintendo 64 hardware. Their true magnum opus and the best game they've ever made is inarguably Banjo-Kazooie. Oh no, I think I might have angered the GoldenEye fandom. So many hungry middle-aged... Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie, I really like how the game encourages you to basically 100% level before leaving because they're so small and it's so easy and satisfying to do because a lot of the levels are just relatively easy to navigate in general. I might do a full video on it, but probably not. I have a list of stuff I have to cover, and I don't think Banjo is ever going to make it. So this is probably the last, or at least the second last, I'll ever talk about the game on this channel, so yeah. Buy it. It's the only way you can justify purchasing a frigging Xbox. And then there was Conker. Conker was a passion project. Then finally, Rare's big event, Donkey Kong 64, and holy camole, I mean big. The main director of the game kept telling the designers to put more crap in. Every time someone came up to him for feedback and just said, hey, maybe this level's a little hard to get around, he just grabbed them by the neck and said, more collectibles. Whenever an employee finished his shift, he just grabbed his shoulder and held the knife to his throat and whispered, more collectibles. I'm pretty sure he spent every day perched on top of a podium in the center of the company, like cracking a whip like an Egyptian emperor to assert dominance. Okay, quick editing note. Turns out the actual guy who was submitting those design choices, it wasn't George Andreas, it was goddamn Tim Stamper again. I'm sorry I had to show you that picture of him kissing the horse. Personally, I don't think the game turned out as bad as a lot of people tend to think it. Was it tedious? Yes. Long? Yes. Boring? I don't care, just put some like moist critical on in the background or some shit while you're playing, you'll be fine. Still, this sold really well and I actually got like glowing reviews. I'm so happy to see my boy finally being appreciated. IGN said this was Rare's best game, man. There's more profanity and all caps words. I must have been pretty angry that day. Then it happened. Nintendo just stopped giving Rare money. Apparently it was because it was getting too expensive to make games with generations advancing, and apparently 5.9 million copies wasn't enough for the ungrateful maggot that was Nintendo. In all fairness, Rare probably should have had some kind of fallback in preparation for something like this happening, because they never were actually owned by Nintendo, it was basically just contractor work, but in any case, this is how it turned out, and we have to live with it. No more big booby flowers. So then Rare took off to the streets and unfortunately made the mistake of talking to creepy old men in black coats. Microsoft, they said they wanted to buy Rare to inject more creative talent into their company, which with today's context essentially translates to Fuck it, take him to the guillotine. Okay, well that's a bit of an exaggeration. Rare still makes games for Microsoft which are relatively successful, but the main point is Donkey Kong is dead. And also they could have just left Banjo to rot away in the company basement, but no, they pulled him out only to torch him alive with the masses of gamers bearing witness. And then that was that. No more Banjo, no more Conker, most of all, no more Donkey Kong. Only for Nintendo to dig up the grave. How many times do we have to do this? So, during the GameCube /Wii era, Nintendo dropped 2 new Donkey Kong games. 1, Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, and 2, a poor man's Hatsune Miku. Donkey Kong Jungle Beat is weird. Like, up to this point, yeah, it's a video game and it's gonna be kind of strange in that context, but no, this feels wrong. Like, don't get me wrong, it's good. The levels are short, and the movement and actions feel satisfying to pull off, so it's hard to hate it. But then you're in a fruit eating contest and then this happens.
Donkey Kong.
I don't know why they made it so goddamn dramatic, but it's even stupid because they're in a boxing match with an armadillo. I don't know, I can't remember. I might have overdosed on doxycycline and started hallucinating, if I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know. I don't think that's possible. Help me. Help me. What it is, it's fine. There's appeal if you're into very basic platforming with really ludicrous and gimmicky ideas. Apparently a lot of people worked on this project, but I'm pretty sure they just locked Shigeru Miyamoto in a room with a pipe and 2 pounds of opium and just let the magic happen. Then we get into the Wii portion. Now remember how I said Donkey Kong was a lot like Metroid in the way that it just kind of lingers in your mind? Guess what Retro also made? Donkey Kong Country Returns. Another one I haven't beaten, damn it. I'm sorry, I'm a fake fan. If you ever see me on the street, you have permission to pretend I'm Adam Sandler and run me over with a car. Apparently I was also really angry at Adam Sandler at the time of writing this script. From what I've played, it's really good. It's probably on par with the first country game. I thought it was kind of weird that they got rid of the run button, but the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. I mean, you're basically just holding it in the whole game in the originals, so repurposing it to just roll is fine. The only problem I have with it is the presentation and the aesthetics. They get really repetitive after a while. Like, yeah, I know, obviously they're going to play it safe because it's the first installment in this new kind of sub-series, but from here on out, the entire series just goes upsy daisy. Upsy daisy, upsy doo, yummy yummy. Holy cow, welcome Rare 2. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is the best one, I'm not sorry. Play High Tide Ride, it will change your life, trust me. This game is beautiful. Like, yeah, the graphics aren't really special compared to what else was coming out during that generation, but holy wow. First level, this mangrove, not a beach, not a forest, a mangrove. First 5 seconds they show off their greatest achievement, water. Rip Mario Wii U, he was taken from us too soon and this masterpiece was stolen from him. Then boom, The Lion King. This looks better than the live action remake. I know that's not a high bar, but still, I'm sorry, I have a lot to process right now. Busted Bio has all the funk this game possibly needs. If this game has any more funk, I will piss blood and then drop dead. I'll be right back. And then, of course, the main event. David Wise awakens from his hibernation chamber. I'm not going to get into the music because, again, I don't want to sound like Donkey. But also, there isn't really much to say that hasn't already been said. There's a lot of things about this game that I want to say, but I just can't. This game is wonderful. Cranky Kong is in it. Dixie as well. There's a Metroid. Funky Kong, welcome home, my son. Hold on, I gotta go again. The game design feels so alive. It's not like any other 2D platformer I've ever played. Mario Wonder, like, get the hell out of here with that fake living pipe, you bumbling idiot. We DK fans here are playing Temple Run. All I really have to say is to conclude this little part of the video is that this game is a damn experience and a journey that ends way too soon. Please play it if you have the chance. So, what's happening now, Retro? This game turned 10 recently. That's a relatively terrifying thought. Only 8 more years and then it can give consent and drink alcohol. What the fuck? Bitch Tendo went to the salt mines to find more Metroid Prime and they couldn't do it, so they sent Retro instead. And they haven't come out since. I think they might be dead. Like, I get it. Metroid fans gotta eat too, but it's been 7 years. I'm starting to starve myself. Boy, what's this? A glimmering spark of hope, a river in the desert. Salvation.
Donkey Kong Country Returns HD.
You are pushing it, Nintendo. A third port? Like, at least Sega had the courtesy to charge full price alongside actual new content. This This is just begging for donations. Donkey Kong slowly shriveling up into a husk aside. I love this series. Yeah, maybe it might not be the most consistent or the best or the cleanest, but dang nabbit, I'm proud of how far my little boy has come. It may not have fancy graphics, it might not have Rare, it might not have Nintendo, and hell, right now it might not even have Retro. But it has charm. And it has me. And Donkey too. I've brought him up like 3 times now. I know, I just have to keep emphasizing it so I don't get called out for being a copycat by someone on Twitter. So yeah, that's all. You can go away now. Oh, you're still here? Well, now might be a good time to tell you that this video is sponsored by Gamerset.
Check your closet, make sure R. Kelly isn't in